Hey hon, I'm Chloe and this is the Twisted Gemini tutorial. My mission here is to share my passion for pole dancing and make pole dancing easy to learn and accessible. This is the 21st video of the intermediate pole trick tutorial series. In order to maximize your training out of all the videos, I highly recommend you to start from the very first video of this playlist, as the tricks will be a progression of the video before. The Twisted Gemini is such a pretty trick. We're gonna go through 4 different leg variations today. There are 2 prerequisites for this move, the bottom-handed viva, and the second prerequisite is either your outside leg hang tutorial or the outside leg hang without inverting tutorial. So make sure you watch that before you attempt this. This video is mirrored for your ease of learning. I'll have a red wristband on my right wrist and my right ankle to indicate the right side of my body if you do get confused of the directions. This video is created for you for informational and educational purposes only, and for you to enjoy learning pole dancing from the comfort of your own home. Please participate at your own risk and don't work beyond your capability, and seek help or spotting when necessary. For any health concerns, please make sure you seek professional medical advice. Ensure to warm up your body before you start this video. I have a warm up depending on your level under each playlist so that you can try it before you do the tricks. If you enjoy this video, please make sure you give it a thumbs up so that I know to create more of these kinds of videos, and consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't yet so that you are notified every single time I upload a video. If you're looking to further your pole journey and combining tricks and dance together, then consider subscribing to my online learning platform, Pole Art Vault, where you'll be learning tricks and dance together and learning an entire routine combining dance and combos. You can find the link in the description below for further information. Alrighty, without further ado, let's get into the Twisted Gemini tutorial. Alrighty, now let's get into our conditioning. Now, just to preface this, I'm not going to be going through conditioning that is required through your hands, because in the Twisted Gemini, we will be using a lot of hand grip. So if you do need any specific conditioning to do with your hand grip or your invert grip, then make sure that you've watched the bottom-handed viva tutorial, top-handed viva tutorial, the Twisted Angel tutorial, or maybe your outside leg hang tutorial as well. For conditioning today, we're gonna work on our thoracic twists using the pole. Now we're gonna start off by stepping 1 step away from the pole. Now, once you step away, we're going to get our legs about wider than shoulder width apart to find that balance. Now, we're gonna start twisting towards the floor until you find the pole. See if you can reach your hand, and then we're just gonna reach over to the other side. Now, as you do so, you do not have to flatten both of your feet fully onto the floor. Whichever way I'm twisting, I'm lifting my other leg up. Then from there, I'm gonna grab the pole, and then I'm gonna see if I can get a nice good twist through it. So think about pulling the pole away and get that nice twist. And then from there, I'm gonna lift my other leg up so that I can twist over to the other side, grab the pole, then you're gonna pull the pole away to get that nice juicy twist. We're gonna do 1 more of that. Lifting that toe up, twist to your opposite side, grab that pole. You're gonna pull the pole away and then think about twisting even more towards the pole. And last one, lift that toe up, grab the pole, pull the pole away as you twist towards the pole. Perfect. Almost lost my balance there. Well done. So there's your first conditioning done. All right, now let's do our next and last conditioning, which is getting deeper into that thoracic twist. Now I'm gonna face the pole and my legs are about shoulder width apart. I'm gonna tuck that tailbone in and engage the core first and keep the hips in full extension. I'm gonna start grabbing the pole with my right hand at just around shoulder height, then take the hand off, turn the palm down so that my thumb is facing down to the floor. I'm gonna slide it all the way down until my right hand is just across on the left side of the pole. Now from here, I'm gonna start taking my other hand forward so that my hand is shoulder height. Then start twisting out using this hand to push the pole away from you and open the chest out and then come back to neutral. So this is going to help you open through your chest and your thoracic spine using this hand as a guide to press and open through. Now, in order to get this thoracic twist, rather than opening your hip all the way, you want to think about keeping your hip square, but opening through your chest. So you can see that my hip and chest is isolating. So your aim is to get your right chest towards or open towards your left hip, but keeping the hip square. And you should feel a nice stretch through your upper thoracic. Good, let's try it on the other side. So this time I'm gonna grab the pole with my left hand, take that hand off, turn that thumb so that it's facing down, slide it down so that it's on the other side of the pole. So my left arm, right side of the pole. I'm gonna open my right hand forward, extending it. Then use your chest and your arm, twist back, and make sure that you keep your hip square and just twist through the chest. And then coming back. 3 more, press the pole with your hand. Good, 2 more. Good, and then last one. Perfect. So just make sure that you feel a really good stretch through your pec and your shoulder through the arm, your upper thoracic area, a little bit through the obliques, and then also through the shoulders as well as you open up. Ow. Well done, y'all. This is your conditioning done. Alrighty, now let's get into our twisted Gemini. Now, we're gonna try 2 different entries today from your outside leg hang and from an outside leg hang without inverting. So from a hook position, aerially, and we're gonna try 4 different leg variations. This is what a twisted Gemini looks like. First leg variation, second leg, third, and fourth. Alrighty, now let's break this twisted Gemini down. So our first entry is gonna be from an outside leg hang. So if you haven't watched the outside leg hang tutorial yet, make sure you watch that one before you attempt this. So once you come into your outside leg hang, instead of reaching your outside hand on top, we are reaching our inside hand on top of the outside knee. So opposite hand to knee. My outside hand is going to go behind into a pistol grip. So once you find the pole, you're gonna slide your hand down into a pistol grip. From there, you're gonna start pointing your toe up into the ceiling until your toes are very close to the pole, and that's your full twisted Gemini. Now the rest of the 3 are variations of a twisted Gemini. So the second variation is a cross leg Gemini, and then the third one is a straight leg parallel to the floor. Then your last one is a stag leg twisted Gemini. So from an outside leg hang, my inside hand is going to reach above the knee. Woo! Make sure you grab it nice and close to the knee. My outside hand is going to reach behind. You can keep this in a true grip or a pistol grip. This is really up to you, whatever you prefer. Then from there, inside leg goes behind, toe facing up into the ceiling. This is your first twisted Gemini. From there, I'm gonna start bending the knee so knee comes a little further away and think about pressing that knee into the outer calf, and this is your cross leg. To come out, I'm gonna pull up, then slide down. Well done. So there's your 2 variations of it. So remember that you can always have your bottom hand in a pistol grip or a true grip. This is really up to you. The twisted grip is a little bit more thoracic twisty. So if you're not a super twisty person, you might want to keep that bottom hand in a true grip. So choose your own adventure. Now on the other side, I'm going to do a entry from a aerial front hook, dropping down into an outside leg hang. Now this entry is actually a little bit easier than the outside leg hang entry because you don't have to pull up your hand above the knee. Your hand is already above, and all you need to do is drop your outside hand down behind your back. So I'm going to do a little climb so that I have a little bit of space to drop down. So I'm gonna come into my climb, and then I'm gonna come into my hook. Now, once I come into my front hook, make sure you're pressing your hips forward. Then from there, I'm gonna start pressing the hips back and hips into the thigh. And then I'm gonna start sliding the leg down. Now, once you slid both of your hands down, remember, opposite hand to the leg stays on the pole and the other hand goes behind in a true grip. Make sure that this top hand is nice and close. Then this is the variation of a twisted Gemini straight leg. From there, I'm just gonna bend the leg, and there's a bent leg twisted Gemini. To come out, I'm just gonna grab the pole above, then step down with the outside leg, then the inside leg. Well done. So there's your twisted Gemini, 4 different variations. Alrighty, now let's go through some tips and common mistakes. Our first common mistake is our hand placement. Now, this is a really common one, and I know a lot of people struggle saying, oh, I can't reach the pole behind, my arm is too short. That is definitely not the case because this really is dependent on where you're placing your top hand. Now, if your top hand is extremely high, what's gonna happen is you actually can't reach your bottom hand lower. So, in order for you to be able to reach that bottom hand, you want to ensure that when you're in that hook position, your top hand is close to that top knee. So as you can see, if my top hand is too high, I'm gonna struggle with the reach. If I slide this hand down, you can see that it's much easier for me to grab that pole. So just make sure that your knee is really close to that top hand, and that's gonna ensure that you can grab that bottom hand down in either your pistol grip or your true grip. Now let's talk about our grip points for this move. So we obviously have both of our hands on the pole, but the other grip point is your knee pit and also your side. Now, if your side is not on the pole, this move is actually gonna be a little bit more trickier. So just make sure that you have a lot of side grip. I have high-waisted pants on today, and I'm still able to do the move because my hands are relatively strong. However, if you are still mastering this move and if you feel like you need to maximize your grip points, make sure that you have a lot of side grip. So you might want to expose your side in order to get all the grip points that you need. Now, the other tip I have for you in terms of grip is always ensure that you're getting the right grip for different parts of your body. If you are sweaty, get something that's gonna dry that sweatiness off. And if you are on the drier skin side, then make sure you get something a little bit more tackier so that you can stick onto the pole. Everyone's gonna have such diverse grip choices and preferences, so make sure you find the grip that's right for you. And if you need any advice on grip, make sure you comment down below and I'm always happy to help you as well. Now, let's go through the next one, which is the twist. Now, I do understand that the twist is quite tricky to achieve and it is very twisty, and this might not be the move for you now. And ensure that you always work on conditioning before you do this move because yes, it is very twisty. Now, in order to achieve that move and hold it, you want to ensure that you're twisting your chest away from the pole. If you are turning your chest into the pole, you're actually gonna lose a lot of the grip, and from your shelf, it's gonna start moving towards your stomach. So make sure that you're twisting away from that top hand towards that bottom hand pistol grip or the true grip. So once I come here, so I'm twisting away from that top hand. Now let's talk about beautifying this move. Now, rather than keeping your head still, I want you to look over either shoulder, whichever one you prefer, or you can look up towards the ceiling. If you keep your head still, it still looks okay, but I think, I'm hoping that you want to make this move look very pretty. So once you get into your move, I'm going to either look up, so lean your head all the way back, or look over the shoulder, or look over the opposite shoulder. And you can see that if I'm looking over the opposite shoulder, you can either make the move look either a certain way. I like this angle, and you might even like this angle. So I just did the same move, but on the other side. So I guess it depends on which angle you like. And if you're doing maybe like a photo shoot, or you want to take a good photo of it, just ensure that you're looking over that shoulder, elongate that side of the neck. The other tip I have for you is to ensure that you've watched the Twisted Angel tutorial, because that also will help you understand the thoracic twist and also the hand positioning as well. And now the other common mistake is putting a lot of pressure in that bottom hand. Now, if you feel like you're sliding into the bottom hand, again, it's probably because you don't have a lot of grip in your side and also through your top hand as well. So just ensure that you're not leaning into the bottom hand or sliding into the bottom hand, because that way you're gonna either end up hurting your bottom wrist or some sort of acute pain. So just ensure that when you're getting into that position, that you have a lot of side grip, and remember, twist away from the pole and not into the pole. And those are all your tips and common mistakes. Now, I have a little of a controversial tip today for you. As much as I love having you here and on this platform, I suggest you to explore different instructor styles. Now, I obviously have a style of instructing that is very unique to me, but I think it's always good to start exploring different instructor styles, because one way of me breaking down might not register to you. And even though I try my best to broaden my vocabulary and broaden my instructing technique and skill set, it might not always work for you. And I do understand that there's so many different personality types as well. You might like one set of skill sets or instructor style more than another. So I highly suggest you to find an instructor that fits your style and what you are looking for. And again, this is not to say that I don't want you here. It's just that I want to ensure that you're getting the best experience out of pole dancing. And there's always going to be things that work for you and not necessarily work for you. So hopefully this helps. And again, I'm only here to help you and your journey and give you best tips to maximize your training. So hopefully this tip helps you to maximize your training and your pole journey in the long term. Thank you so much for joining me in the Twisted Gemini tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it, and I shall see you in the very next tutorial. Bye. Jesus. Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Yeah.